Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're having a great Monday. I just wanted to come on and show you some examples of the teaching activity. I know it's going to be a little different for summer semester because you are not actually in a classroom and you can't really do this with your children in your classroom. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. You're going to log into FCS 353 in Canvas. So I already have that pulled up, and you can go either under modules or assignments, either one, it will be there. All right, so this is actually lab assignment 4, and this is due, I think, June the 11th. Yes, it's due June the 11th, so this is at the very end of the semester, and it's due at 11:59 p.m. But I wanted to go ahead and talk about it more in detail so you know what to expect. So you can click Lab Assignment 4. This first form is a planning form, and all it is just to kind of help you plan for this activity. It looks like this. Normally, you go into your teacher, your director, whoever, and they actually sign off on this because they kind of need to know that, hey, I have this activity to do, and they kind of might give you a day they want you to do this on or a theme to do this on, but that's not happening. So obviously you do not need to get this signed by anybody, and you do not have to do a certain theme that they request that you do because you're not in a classroom. So you do not need to get this signed, but you can still use this as a guide to help you plan for your activity. As you can read, this activity should be developed as an individual or group activity. Kind of doesn't really apply this time, but it should be, as you can see right here, it should be appropriate for the age you are working with. So we want you to kind of do this for about 2 to 5 years old. It can be anything that improves skills. It can be language skills, it can be gross motor skills, fine motor skills. It can be anything that you can think of, okay? We want it to be interesting to the children. Once again, it says little or no preparation on site, but again, that kind of doesn't apply. All right, the biggest thing that a lot of students miss is that you will type your report in paragraph format. A lot of students think that this is the actual report. It's not. This is not in paragraph format. This is just to help you plan. Okay, so description of the project or activity. Just jot down your ideas, like just a little brief description. What skills are being developed? Is it fine motor? Is it gross? Is it language? Is it cognitive? Is it reading? Is it listening? Counting? What skills are being developed? Age for the child or the children for which it's designed. Is it 2? Is it 5? Is it 4? Just write the number. Reaction of the children. This is going to be a little difficult, but you can just think, do you think the children would like your activity? Anyways, okay. Additional information or photographs. You can include a picture of what your activity is going to look like, and I'll show you some in just a second. And then once again, don't worry about any of this part. Okay, so we're going to click off of that, and we're going to go to the next part. Oh, fly. Okay. So this is what a planning form looks like when you have completed it. This is a student, go away, from another time. So they just filled it out, and they did Pete the Cat and his 4 groovy buttons. If you're not familiar with Pete the Cat, you definitely need to become familiar. I love Pete the Cat, and I love all the books. They are so much fun. Kids love them. There's a lot of rhyming in those books, a lot of repeated phrases, so kids can catch on to those phrases really quickly. Most of the books are on YouTube, and so you can show the books being read on YouTube YouTube just for something different instead of you reading them. So love Pete the Cat. Okay, so you can see where this student wrote just a quick description of what they were going to do. They're going to read the book, Pete the Cat. Kids are going to roll a dice, count buttons, and put them on a shirt. Listening skills, counting skills, and fine motor skills are being developed. They did this with 4 and 5-year-olds. And then excited, disappointed when they didn't win was their reaction. And this student included 2 pictures. You can see the date that they did this with. They talked it over with the teacher, and then the teacher signed off. But once again, you're not going to have the last 2, a date that you did the activity and then the signature of the teacher. You're not going to have those 2. So that's what that form looks like. It's just to help you plan it out, kind of get your thinking down on paper. Okay, all right, so the next part is a teaching activity report example. So we're going to go from your planning to the report example. So this is what it looks like. And once again, this can be a page, you know, you might need a page and a half. I mean, there's not really a certain length on this, all right? So all she did was take that planning form and she went by the first part, the description of the activity, and she just wrote out, was a little more detailed. My project focused on the book, Pete the Cat and his 4 groovy buttons. The activity consisted of using a t-shirt cutout, buttons, and a dice. So she tells me, because I did not get to see this, so she tells me in detail what she did. Each time he loses a button, the question is asked. You guys can read through this. I don't want to read it word for word to you. The second paragraph is that second part on that planning form. What skills were developed? And she tells me the children are developing listening and reading comprehension skills, counting skills, fine motor skills. She just tells me in detail how those skills are being developed. The next paragraph is that third point on that planning form. The project was designed for children ages 4 to 5, and the reaction to the book was met with delight. So for this, you can tell me the age that you're designing the lesson for. Just tell me how you think the kids would react, okay? Okay, and we'll move on. Here's the extra information. She told me how she played the game. And then at the end, she told me she put 2 pictures of her activity and then how she felt the activity would, how it went, and that she's looking for ways to extend the activity. No, I don't have the pictures on here. Okay. Let's see. Next. All right, here's a rubric for how you will be graded. I always include rubrics so you know what to expect. All right, this right here, this follows the planning form. I mean, that first part, the description, the skills, age, reaction, additional information, photographs. It's the exact same thing. Writing, make sure your writing is well organized. You don't repeat yourself all the time. If you follow the guidelines, the points addressed on the outline, that's this part right up here. Please watch your spelling, your punctuation. Make sure, you tab over paragraph format, and then I give you what size font and everything to use, and that's it. It's not too hard, I don't think. All right. And then this is where you will submit your teaching activity. And like you can see, it's June 11th, 11:59 p.m. So now I want to show you some examples. And the first one I'm going to show you is the Pete the Cat, what we just went through. So she read the book. I do not have the book with me. Everything is at my office. So just work with me on what I have. I have these, but this is the Pete the Cat shirt. Woo, I'm really bad at that. The Pete the Cat shirt that she used. I'm really bad. Anyways, she let me have hers, but they are on pretty paper and laminated, but I just had to print this off at home. She has dice that she used. But mine with the dots are all at home. Are at my office, but I have these at home, and I like these because they're dry erase, so you can put numbers or dots or whatever you want on these. My fun buttons are at my office, so for today, I'm just using these. Yes, I know they go on a sewing machine, but that's just what I got for right now, so that's what we'll do. So after she read the book, she had all the kids transition to their table, and each child got a Pete the Cat shirt, as you can see. So what she had them do was take the dice, roll it, you can see roll it, and then whatever it landed on, she had them count, 1-to-1 correspondence, put their finger, count, say it was 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's how many buttons went on their shirt. So just 1, I know this is hard to do, 2, okay, you get the idea, 3, 4. Their goal was to put 10 buttons on their shirt. Okay, after they did this a couple of times, she put them in pairs. So they played against one another and to see which student could get 10 buttons on their shirt first. So it was a little friendly competition, she said, but it got a little heated, when one student did not win. There can only be one winner. So that was her activity. Really short, really simple. I want to show you a few other examples. Let me pull this down. All right, so this student, and I asked if I could use these pictures. She said yes. All right, so here you see this student. She is reading a book. It's a Dr. Seuss book. I cannot remember the title right now, but it's about pets, like choosing what pet you would want to come into your home. So she's reading to her students. Then she broke her students up into groups. She only had 4 students working at a time, and they played pet bingo. And then here are the bingo cards she used. She just found them, I think, on Pinterest. Love Pinterest. And she printed those out, and they just played pet bingo. Real easy. Here is another activity. The student took the kids outside and they looked at clouds. She read a nonfiction book about clouds, and they looked at the clouds, and they were like, well, this cloud looks like a pig, or this cloud looks like a dog. They just kind of observed the clouds. Then they came back in, and she had these clouds out with the numbers on them, and they got to do more 1-to-1 correspondence with marshmallows, and they just counted, 3, put 3 marshmallows, 4, put 4 marshmallows, and then they got to eat the marshmallows. Anytime you can eat your work, that's a lot of fun. All right, and then one more. This student did 1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, blue fish. I read that book. You don't have to read a book. That's totally up to you. And then she gave this little sheet out to her students. And once again, more snacks are involved, so that's always good. And then the students just put the fish in their bowl to go along with the number. And she commented on how odd it was that some students did random colors like this, and then others had all orange fish in one, all green fish in another, all the red fish. It was just interesting to see what students grouped their fish and how they did it. Okay, so for yours, what you need to do is, since you will not be going into a classroom, I need for you to video yourself teaching. And I know that's probably going to feel weird, but if you have like a younger sibling or a cousin or a neighborhood child, like on your street or something, that you can go to or bring in your home and do an activity with, that's fine. But if you don't, this had to happen during this spring semester too. Had some put a stuffed animal in front of them or their pet. It's totally fine. So, but we do need you to video yourself teaching. If you have any questions, please email me, call me, let me know. If you're lost and you're like, I have no idea what to do, I will help you find something. Please don't stress over this. This isn't hard. Don't make your activity long. I mean, not even 10 minutes, okay? So that's about it. And like I said, if you need help, please let me know. I will see y'all later. Bye.